All right, so we were able to get the ridge pole on. That's the center one right there. And then the two side purlins. So there, I thought there was more. There's actually only two, one down each side. We got the wind braces on. Went ahead and got the 2x12x12 treated lumber. That'll be the baseboard that goes along on the outside and attaches to each post. What I was referring to is the hip board, which would, in some greenhouses, is actually a metal piece on this one. So for this kit, it has actually a metal track, almost probably about 4 inches wide, that goes up here, and that's where your roll-up system comes on. So that's where we were able to get to over the weekend. Sunday we finished that much of it up. Took a little bit because there's a lot of little work involved in it. And then of course they sent us the wrong size carriage bolts for some of the application, and I had to run to the local store and get some more. We actually ran short on what they'd sent us. It was a little longer than what we needed, but we just went and got those and finished it up. All right, next project is going to be putting the baseboards down each side. So we've got 8 12-footers, so 4 will go down each side, and that'll finish out that portion of it. And then if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the hip track goes on the top side there. I think that's what the next project is, according to the instructions and everything. So as I walk out through here to go feed the animals and everything, it seems like the days are getting even shorter at this point. I guess we're going to have to wait until after the winter solstice for the days to start getting a little longer again. The egg layers, they've definitely dropped off on their production. They're not laying near as many eggs as they were. The meat chickens at this point, now I went back and checked, and I think I said in one of the previous videos that they were on the Kalmbach game bird feed for 4 weeks. Actually, they were on it for 6 weeks. And now we're up to 9 weeks. And they've only been on the distiller's grains, which is 20% protein. They've been on it for 3 weeks now, or just over 3 weeks. They're still not the size. So not to the size that we want them. So it's probably going to be, not this weekend, but next weekend, the weekend after Thanksgiving, that we're probably going to process them for them to be at the weight that we want them to be. So if you remember the 6-foot gate we put in between the paddocks to get Coke and Pee Wee integrated, well, Coke's found her way up through. I heard her growling out here as soon as I come out the door. So she's back in the old digs here. Hopefully we can get them both out and into her original paddock, and then I can close that gate and give this one a rest for the season. All right, so feed-wise with the pigs, all of the pigs except for the 2 adults, Boris didn't seem to like the straight distiller's grains too much, and Peppa definitely didn't. Pee Wee, he's off and on with it. So when I went and ordered a ton, I actually asked the guy at the mill to change this over to a 25% distiller's grains and then just use the standard mix in the rest. So we've got 25% distiller's grains and 75% of the standard mix that he usually runs. Now it's still 16% protein, but it came out to about $11 a bag. So for a ton of feed at $11 a bag, you can't beat that. That worked out really well. So I'll set you down here while I fill my feed can up. So we do meat birds next year. Unfortunately, it's real hard to get away from soy in this area. Like I said, I had to go clear over into Virginia or 4 hours over into Maryland to be able to get soy-free non-GMO feed, and the cost, very prohibitive, a lot more expensive. Oh, I'm getting your food. Stop grumping. And going with the commercial feed was my option at that point without traveling 80 miles round trip. So then that's when I found this mill here. So next year for my birds, my meat birds, I'm going to look at working with him to get a different mix. Maybe we'll do 50% distiller's grains, 50% standard to get about a 20% protein and see where we can get from there. The big thing is the antibiotics that I don't want. I would prefer no soy non-GMO, but then I would have to sell my chickens for $6 a pound in order just to recoup my money on the prohibitive cost that it is. And of course, not to include the cost of diesel at this point as well. We know it's only going to continue to get worse. So traveling those excessive distances just to get the kind of feed that I would prefer to feed definitely wouldn't benefit me in the end, because I would have to raise my prices so much on my chickens, I probably wouldn't sell many at all, if any, at that point. All right, so I was kind of worried about Peppa there for a while, where she only had 3 piglets that were born alive. One of them did end up dying a few days later. No particular reason that we could figure out. So she's got 2 of them now. They seem to be thriving, doing really good, but she wasn't eating real well. And I was giving her, you know, her standard feed, apples and donuts as well, and some bread. And she was eating that, but she just wasn't much on the feed. You have to let me in. I can't get in when you block me. Move it. All right, Hoss, come on. Here. All right, I'll get it out of there. You dipstick. Now you just spilled all your feed. What do you want? What do you want? You want to fight? I'm not going to fight you. You're too big. Give me some squeaks. Huh? Give me some squeaks. There you go, big boy. Eat. Eat. So, you know, thankfully she is eating at this point. And like I said, the babies seem to be doing really well. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. Your feed trough's down there. What do you think you're going to eat? I got to get you guys back through that gate. Maybe I'll need to take your feed troughs down there. So I'll make her real mad. I'll just go right by her and feed Peppa. She ought to enjoy that. Hi, Peppa. There's the little piggies. The 2 surviving ones. Both males. We're going to have to castrate them unless somebody tells me they want an intact boar, which I think they'd make pretty good little breeders. Peppa's obviously mostly old spot. Boris we know is. So I'm assuming these guys are all old spot. She's not registered, but Boris is. All right, Peppa, I got your feed coming. Hi, big mama. What are you doing, big girl, huh? Hi, little babies. Hi, little piggies. Come here, I got your food. You've got to get out of my way. There. There, let the babies eat too. All right, so yeah, Peppa's been doing real good. The piglets will actually go over and eat right out of her bowl with her, and she's been allowing them. She's not been trying to, pardon the pun, hog all the food, but she's actually been doing a really good job at that. Pee-wee's not real happy with Coke being in there right now because, well, she's a big mama and she's more dominant. He's just Pee-wee. Hi, little piggies. Hi, little babies. What you doing? Can I pet? Can I touch? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, cute little fellers. Now, don't you come over here. I'm not being mean to your babies. I'm just learning to scratch them, let them get to know me. Let them sniff. There you go. Yeah, these guys were really tiny. They actually still are. Coke, when she had her litter, they were bigger, almost as big as these things are now. I mean, they're a little bit smaller, but not much. But these guys were really, really small when they were born. Okay, you guys go over and eat with mommy, okay? Go get some of that good food. All right, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and move Coke's feeder up here and put it back in this pen for now. And then slowly I'll get it moved down on the other side of the gate and get that gate closed. Of because she's not going to figure it out between now and then, and she's just going to raise all kinds of cane if I try to feed her over here while she's in a separate paddock right now. Pee-wee's still kind of attached to Peppa because they were together for so long, and he hasn't ventured far at all from her. He's just basically made a nest. Sorry for the sun. He just formed a nest pretty much right there and has laid right there since she's been in here having her piglets. So he hasn't been too adventurous in getting out. Of course, hungry pig, you can pretty much coax them around where you need them to go. For the most part, except for that stubborn one right there. But I think I'm going to make her mad and still feed her over here in a normal place. Maybe she'll figure it out. Maybe I'll have to walk down through the woods there to get her to realize. All right, let's just take a walk down through here, see if we can't get her up in here. She's definitely done some work in this place. Come on, Coke. Come on, Coke. I have to take the long way. Yes, you guys' food's coming. Your mama's got everything screwed up right now. Every day. Come on, Coke. There, she's figuring it out. Come on. See, we left that gate open, but we want Pee-wee down in here. There you go. Atta girl. Come on, mama. Come on, mama. Say hi to your heathens when you come up by. Rowdy bunch. Come on, Coke. So she's done some good work in here. Really got this opened up. This one particular area anyways. I've seen her down on the road down there where the gate is, but I haven't seen her down over in the woods farther yet. That doesn't mean she's not down in there, but she's definitely not spending near as much time down there as she should. All right, come on, mama. Let's figure it out now. I mean, you both got our exercise today, didn't we? Your food's in there. Come here. Come here. You want to twerk? You want to twerk for everybody if I scratch your back? Usually she dances all over the place. You scratch her back. All right. All right, so Boris, Pee-wee, and Coke all get 1 scoop. And that's, of course, the big, I think it's a 4-quart or 8-quart scoop. They each get 1 scoop a day. Peppa, because she's a nursing mama, gets 2 full scoops. And then the piglets, I actually just fill a 5-gallon bucket up, split between the 8 of them. There's Pee-wee's. Now I have given some thought to fermenting the feed for the pigs and the chickens as well, meat chickens, because it gives them, it breaks down the feed, and with the fermentation, it makes the nutritional components much more bioavailable to them. Maybe in the future I'll get that done. A little harder to do it in the cold weather because then it would freeze being out here in the equipment barn, but that is probably something that we will start doing. We'll just kind of have to see how things play out. All right, we'll step over the fence here and get Pee-wee fed. Hi, little man. What you doing, buddy? Huh? Get your bowl put up here. And all right, buddy, there's your food. Pee-wee likes a good scratching, don't you? You like a good scratching, don't you? Likes that forehead and that back and them ears. Yeah, good boy. All right, buddy, eat up. All right, so this is Adventures in Pig Feeding, and you'll understand why when I walk in here with these little buttholes. You gotta let me in. Watch the fence. Watch the fence. Don't get bit. All right, move it. I told you. All right, get back. Yeah, yeah. Jeez. All right. There you go. Oh, that feed first dump went everywhere, except where it was supposed to go. All right. So 4 bowls, about 25 roughly pounds of feed between 8 of them. And with 4 bowls, they got plenty to eat on. There's one down there, there, and there. And you see how fun it is to feed these guys. Now, it's not that they're starving, but they equate or associate me with food. So they're here waiting on me when I get here, and that's why they get excited and make all the noise and stuff, because they know it's feeding time. Now this will give me an idea of their impact in here so far. They're really starting to work that out of there. That's going to make so much easier for me to get in there and clear this. And I know the camera doesn't do it much justice. And the fact that a lot of the vegetation is off right now, the leaves, it's still really getting to be opened up in there. So much easier in the future here to get this cleaned out. Hi, buddy. All right, so this is the old bathtub spring right here. You can see it right there in the old pipe that comes out. So this all is going to have to get cleared out of here. I'm going to have to cut these trees out. We're still applying for the grant to get this redeveloped through the USDA. We didn't qualify. Well, we qualified for this year, but the funding was all used up for that particular project. So I had to renew it again, and hopefully after the first of the year, we'll hear that they've approved us. But there's a lot of brush in here. Again, that's why I've got the pigs in here to get this opened up, make it a lot easier for me to come in here and just clean all this stuff out of here and then drop these trees. There's firewood. And then this is all stuff that I can run through my chipper and use as compost. Compost it down and use it in my greenhouse. All right, and just a little, now this is just the top part right here where I feed them. So you can see the impact that they've had. This is phenomenal. This is what we want to see. If you can, and you're not going to see it with the camera, but with the naked eye, you can really see how much they've actually opened that up back out in those woods. And especially down along the bottom edge and everything, they're doing exactly what we want them to do. But great impact. This will make it so much easier to come in here in the spring and overseed this with good clovers and Sudan grass and all kinds of different stuff to get that back in here so we can continue to rotate our pigs through here. But they've done a really good job in here. Oh yeah, you're probably going to ask, why is there a stack of pallets there? Well, the original plan was to just kind of build a shelter out of the pallets and get that done. But then I found instructions online on building more sturdy, more stable, longer lasting metal shelters for them. Paid like $11 for the instructions, printed them off, sat there, figured up the cost of everything at today's current prices and the things that I would need. It's almost $400. So, and it was, I think it was 8x8, if I'm not mistaken, or 6x8. It was the size of it. So I got online, started looking, found a 12 foot by 12 foot shelter. Now it's got a tarp over top of it. It's got a good heavy vinyl tarp that goes with it. It's like a corral cover that you can use on the ground or up on gates. Found it for $350. So I'm either going to buy all the stuff, try to find the time to get it built, or I'm just going to buy one pre-made and have it done. So I bought it. It's still in the box. Got to get it together hopefully sometime. It's supposed to start raining Friday, so we'll just see. Maybe I'll just try to get it thrown together one evening this week, or maybe even Sunday. Get it out here, get it set, get some hay in it, There's the piggy shelter, and it's 12 by 12, so it'll be plenty big enough for all of them. All right. Oh, there goes a bunch of deer. Waving bye-bye. So, meat chickens, I'll show you what I mean. They're just not growing, man. Not growing to the expectations and historically what we've seen. Get back. Come here. So, yeah, thanks for the poopy hand. I mean, look at how small these guys are. Some of them are a little bigger, but most of them are maybe 4 pounds. Get back in there. And that's, like I said, man, there's no reason for this. The previous runs that we raised on the Kalmbach, by 6 weeks, we absolutely knew we were going to be processing in 2 weeks because of the size. These guys are about the size that my other ones would have been at 6 weeks. These guys are at 9 weeks. So, and I ordered them from Murray McMurray Hatchery, Jumbo Cornish Cross. You know, they look like they act like, but they sure just ain't growing like. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. So maybe not this weekend, but the weekend after Thanksgiving. Hell, we may end up taking up to the first weekend in December, which I really didn't want to have to wait that long, but I mean, it wouldn't do no good to butcher 4 pound on the foot chickens right now, because you'd end up with like 2.5 pound carcasses. I could just sell them as Cornish game hens at that point. So, like I said, protein content, nutrition content, everything that I've read, other than the commercial feed having the antibiotics in it, the bacitracin, this has got the same protein content, same profile, pretty much across the board with your amino acids and everything, minus the antibiotics. And 6 weeks on that kind of food, they're not the size. So we'll take them out a couple more weeks if we have to. Anyways, this is getting long. We're over 22 minutes. Good Lord. Still got to get these guys moved, get them fed, get the bunnies taken care of, and a couple other little things. So as always, get to stay prepared, stay free. God bless y'all.